Hello, everyone, and welcome to Studio F, our brand new home. We can't wait for you to see all of it. I'm Eric Bowling, along with Kimberly Guilfoyle, Bob Beckel, Dana Perino, and Greg Gutfeld. It's still 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is still the 5. Well, thank you for joining us on our first day in Studio F here at Fox News headquarters. We got a gorgeous brand new set, and we're sitting around, guess what, a brand new table as well, ready to kick off our first discussion. Beginning with one of the most dramatic endings in Hollywood history, an Oscar screw-up for the ages. Here's how it all began.
And the Academy Award for Best Picture.
You're impossible. Come on. La La Land.
Well, La La Land exec and stars then flooded the stage to accept the top honor of the night, but they weren't the winners. Here's what happened after La La Land producer Jordan Horowitz was informed about the mishap.
There's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won it. Come on, this is not a joke.
This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture. Moonlight, Best Picture.
Wow, now, Greg, now these are the same people who spent the night trashing Donald Trump for the way he's running the country. They couldn't even get the right envelope.
Well, after weeks of Trump hysteria in Hollywood and after all the political posturing, they can't get the one thing right that they were supposed to do. It's like a teenage boy that's like showing off on his bike in front of his friends, you know, and gets cockier and cockier, and then all of a sudden gets hit by a semi. And I love how he hands it off to Faye Dunaway when he realizes it's a problem. I mean, I always thought that his confusion was an act, but he really is stupid. And then he realizes he's in trouble, so he says, "Here, take it." He passes the grenade onto her, and he could have said.
How did he know he was in trouble?
He looked down and he goes, "This isn't right." You could see on his face he knew that it was wrong. And instead of saying, "We just did this award," he just handed it to her. He's always done that to women, though. So
Ooh, interesting. Hey, Bob, but La La Land won the popular vote. Shouldn't they get the Oscar?
Well, was it 3 million or 5 million votes?
Yeah, whatever.
You know, I'd say I give a lot of credit to Horowitz. I thought he handled himself quite well in the middle of all that. That's must have been very, very difficult. Price Waterhouse has got a lot of explaining to do, and I think Warren Beatty does. By the way, Warren Beatty's a friend of mine. He's very smart.
no, he's not.
Yes, he is. You ain't no Warren Beatty.
He's not smarter,
maybe in one way.
Well, but I thought it was it's hard to imagine.
KG, hand to face. We were watching. First of all, it happened at 12:38 in the morning. After 4 hours of
You
this.
stayed up?
I stayed up. I watched every minute of it. I played that twice back to see what was going on.
And you just think, what just happened there? But it's interesting because, you know, Price Waterhouse had to, like, fall on the sword and say, listen, this is all our fault. We're doing an investigation to figure it out. Didn't anybody learn anything from poor, sweet Steve Harvey? And the massacre during the Miss Universe and calling the right name. And it was like Groundhog Day all over again. Clearly, these actors should rehearse more often and do a test run through or something.
You know, one of the explanations I heard was that you're not sure where the people are going to come up from, or they come out this side or this side. So there's this duplicate envelope on both sides. Well, when it's handed to the presenter, they're supposed to get rid of the other one. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, she had one.
Emma Stone
had hers, but there was another one lying around.
What do you think that thing's going to be worth at auction?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Baby kept it.
I've read 3 stories about this. I still cannot understand what happened, and I guess the investigation will.
All right, stay right there, Dana. This mishap overshadowed the rest of the night, which, as expected, got political right from the very start.
This broadcast is being watched live by millions of Americans and around the world in more than 225 countries that now hate us. I want to say thank you to President Trump. I mean, remember last year when it seemed like the Oscars were racist? We are very welcoming to outsiders here in Hollywood. We don't discriminate against people based on what countries they come from. We discriminate against them based on their age and weight. Of all the great actors here in Hollywood, one in particular has stood the test of time for her many uninspiring and overrated performances. Some of you will get to come up here on this stage tonight and give a speech that the President of the United States will tweet about in in all caps during his 5 a.m. bowel movement tomorrow.
And Dana, they tried to get the president to tweet, but he held back.
Yes, they were like, "Are you up?" And then he didn't take the bait, which is smart.
How much? Too much? Not enough? Political humor in that. Your thoughts?
I think that the racist joke was too close to the bone. I would have dropped that one. And also, I think he tweets at 7 a.m., not 5.
Okay.
Yes.
KG, thoughts on Kimmel's? He went to the well a few times.
He did. You know, I'm a big Jimmy Kimmel fan. I don't know. I really like him. He's my favorite late night host. So, however, I thought, yes, making the comment suggesting the president is racist, that I did not like. I didn't think it was appropriate. I agree with Dana on that one. But for the rest of it, I thought he, carried the night with good humor and aplomb.
The best part about this is no one's going to remember any of this. So I think that they wanted to have a telecast that was going to be politically relevant and interesting, provocative, and shocking. But because they devoted all their energy to try to be intellectually shocking
right.
and agree with their peers about Trump, they blew the one thing they had to blow. I mean, Warren Beatty is the perfect metaphor for Hollywood. He's old, out of touch with the changing winds. He's a bitter guy looking to be bailed out. That's what's so funny.
You know what I thought the best metaphor for Hollywood was? When they're all sitting in that beautiful arena dressed in their tuxedos, and Kimmel brought that bus.
Oh my God, that was the worst.
What a stark contrast between real people
let's show
and Hollywood.
It was the most offensive thing I've ever seen. Let's trot out the normal people and treat them like zoo animals in front of these elite rich millionaires. It was disgusting.
Can I be honest with you? I took it the other way. Look at those moronic, idiot, rich people sitting there acting pompous, and here's some real people who, frankly, were more entertaining than the actors.
But they had no idea.
They looked like
they were a novelty act. They were a novelty act.
Let me just say, first of all, you're a rich man. You're not pompous.
I wasn't always rich, Bob. I know.
That way
okay.
you're not pompous, and I like that. But coming, as you all know, my dad was in the civil rights movement for years. Using the word racist is something you simply do not do, and particularly from somebody who, I guess, Kimmel's never seen the inside of a ghetto or inside of a poor person's house. So he pox on his house for that.
Well,
I don't defend Donald Trump on anything, but I will on that.
At one point, they called Jimmy Kimmel racist because he made some comment about an Asian woman's name. Let's do this. Staying on politics, an Iranian movie, The Salesman, won the best foreign film last night, but the director wasn't there to accept the prize. Oscar Farhadi skipped the ceremony to protest Trump's travel ban. His speech was read on his behalf.
I'm sorry I'm not with you tonight. My absence is out of respect for the people of my country and those of other 6 nations whom have been disrespected by the inhumane law that bans entry of immigrants to the U.S. Dividing the world into the us and our enemies categories creates fear, a deceitful justification for aggression and war. These wars prevent democracy and human rights in countries which have themselves been victims of aggression.
Greg, the Iranian irony of this is she mentions inhumane laws.
Right.
Yeah, it's rich. The fact is, if you're gay in Iran, you could be executed. Now, that's not the director's fault. I'm sure he disagrees with that as well. But you got to be careful when you come to another country and you start lecturing us about the way we're the freest country on the planet in the history of the world, and we want to remain free. So the only way we can do that is to make sure that ideas from your country don't come here. We don't want we want gays to live here happy. We don't want them executed. So you got to understand what's trying to be done here.
Great, Bob.
I think it was exactly appropriate. And let me make one point. The big bag ice guys went into a hospital and took out a woman who had a malignant brain tumor and locked her up while she was trying to get to New York to be with her 3 kids. She had never committed a crime. She had never done anything except cross the border without undocumented. Now, if that's Trump's idea, which I thought was to go after criminals, this is a classic example. I would like the Trump administration to name one single terrorist act that they've prevented.
Interesting. Dana, inhumane laws.
What are you talking about? How can this happened last week?
What do you think about taking that woman out of that hospital?
You know what? This is the first I heard of it, and it's a bit unfair that none of us know that story, but somehow you brought that up.
Well,
but I think you're mixing apples and oranges. I read that story over the weekend, and I agree it is troubling. Okay, but it is not the same as what the director said that he was opposing, which is the extreme vetting from the 7 countries, and President Trump said he's going to sign the new executive order on this on Wednesday, so after tomorrow night's speech. That is separate from the ICE raids.
Completely separate.
So I think that's separate. But about this guy, I feel like it would have been more brave of him and more effective if he had shown up and, one, thanked America for this opportunity to get this amazing award for his terrific film, and been able to be there. Instead, I feel like, what was he doing? It was like some excuse so that he didn't have to go.
He extreme vetted himself,
that Indian woman to do it?
Yeah, he did. Kid, you want this one or you want Viola Davis?
Well, what I was saying is, like, he extreme vetted himself. I mean, he just, I guess, decided that I'm not going to come.
He found that he was high risk.
Yeah, high risk. You know, and it also is misstating what the intent and focus of the law was. And so, you know, but that they're going to do that because Hollywood writes their own scripts and makes it up.
Okay. Well,